Ladies, let me tell you something. When someone hurts you, it is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of who they are. And the first step to making them regret it is to realize that you were never the problem. You are a force of nature, and no one, absolutely no one, has the power to take that away from you. There comes a moment in life when you realize that the way someone treats you has nothing to do with who you are and everything to do with who they are. When someone hurts you, disrespects you, or makes you feel small, it's not because you lack something, it's because they don't know how to value what they had. And that realization, my dear, is where your power lies. Knowing your worth is not just about confidence, it's about recognizing that you are whole, complete, and deserving of love, respect, and kindness, even when someone fails to give it to you. Too often we tie our value to how others treat us. If they love us, we feel lovable. If they hurt us, we question what we did wrong. But the truth is, your worth isn't defined by someone else's inability to see it. Just because a blind man cannot see the sun doesn't mean the sun isn't shining. When someone walks away from you, betrays you, or takes you for granted, it's easy to spiral into self-doubt. You wonder, was I not good enough? Was I not beautiful enough? Did I not give enough? But let me tell you something powerful. Your value does not decrease just because someone fails to appreciate it. A diamond remains a diamond, whether it is placed on a queen's crown or lost in the mud. And you, my love, are a diamond. The problem is we often allow pain to distort our perception of ourselves. We start believing the lies that heartbreak whispers to us. But the moment you reclaim your worth, everything changes. You stop begging for closure, for apologies, for explanations. You stop trying to prove to someone why they should have treated you better. Because the truth is, the right person will never need convincing. The right person will see you, respect you, and cherish you without you having to ask for it. When you truly know your worth, you walk differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself with a quiet confidence that demands respect. And the ones who underestimated you, they will feel your absence like a missing heartbeat. Not because you seek revenge, but because your growth and self-love will be a silent reminder of what they lost. The most powerful thing you can do after being hurt is to rise, not to prove a point, not to make them regret it, but simply because you deserve better. You deserve a life filled with joy, peace, and people who recognize your value from the very start. The moment you stop seeking validation from those who fail to respect you, you set yourself free. Think about it. Would you let someone who can't even see the beauty of a sunset define the worth of the sky? Would you let someone who doesn't understand art determine the value of a masterpiece? No. Then why let someone who failed to appreciate your love dictate how you see yourself? So, the next time someone hurts you, don't sit there wondering what you could have done differently. Instead, remind yourself, I am enough, I was always enough. Their inability to see it is their loss, not mine. And trust me, one day they will realize it. By then you'll be too busy shining to even care. Because a woman who knows her worth is unstoppable, and that, my dear, is the kind of power no one can take away from you. There is an incredible power in silence. When someone hurts you, betrays you, or makes you feel like you weren't enough, the first instinct is often to react, to explain, to defend, to prove a point. But the truth is, the most powerful response you can ever give someone who underestimated you is silence. Silence isn't weakness, it isn't avoidance. It is control. It is refusing to let someone else dictate your emotions. It is understanding that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every person deserves an explanation. When you stay silent, you leave space for something much more powerful: regret. The thing about people who take you for granted is that they expect a reaction. They expect anger. They expect you to plead, to cry, to try to make them understand what they lost. But when you give them nothing, that's when they truly feel your absence. Because silence isn't just the absence of words, it's the presence of self-respect. Imagine sending a long message, pouring your heart out, begging someone to understand your pain. And now imagine the alternative: a simple, calm text: thank you for teaching me what I never deserved. No anger, no desperation, just a statement of truth. And then silence, no further text, no attempts to explain. Just you walking away with your dignity intact. That one sentence will echo in their mind far longer than any emotional outburst ever could. People don't realize the value of something when it's readily available. They realize it when it's gone. When you stop texting, stop calling, stop explaining, that's when they start wondering. That's when they replay every conversation, every moment, searching for where they went wrong. Silence forces them to sit with their own actions. It forces them to confront the fact that they lost something they didn't appreciate when they had it. And let me tell you, regret is loud. Louder than any argument, louder than any words you could have spoken. It creeps in during quiet moments, in the middle of the night, in the spaces where you used to be. It makes them wonder why you stopped trying. And that's when they realize you didn't stop because you didn't care. You stopped because you finally understood your own worth. Walking away in silence isn't about making someone suffer. It's about choosing peace over chaos. It's about understanding that your time and energy are too valuable to be wasted on someone who didn't respect them in the first place. It's about showing that you don't need closure from them, because the best closure is knowing you deserve better. Think about it. When you argue, when you explain, when you beg for answers, who holds the power? They do. They control the conversation, they control your emotions, they know you're still affected. But the moment you go silent, the moment you stop giving them access to you, that's when the power shifts. And here's the real magic. Silence isn't just about them, it's about you. It gives you space to heal, to reflect, to grow. It allows you to detach, to find clarity, to move forward without dragging your past with you. Because the truth is, you don't need revenge. You don't need an apology that may never come. You don't need them to acknowledge what they did. All you need is to reclaim your peace. Silence is a language only the guilty truly understand. So the next time someone hurts you, don't waste your breath trying to make them see your worth. Let them feel your absence instead. Because trust me, one day they will realize. And by then, you'll be too far ahead to even care. Confidence is the most powerful response to heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment. When someone hurts you, they expect to see you broken. They expect to see you cry, beg, or drown in self-pity. But when you stand tall, when you glow with self-assurance, when you move forward without hesitation, that is the ultimate revenge. Not because you need to prove anything to them, but because you prove something to yourself, that no one, absolutely no one, has the power to take away your worth. Heartbreak can shake you, but it cannot define you. Too often, people believe that their value is tied to how someone else sees them. If someone loved them, they feel worthy. If someone left, they feel abandoned, unwanted, and not good enough. But that is the biggest lie heartbreak tells you. Your value is not up for debate. It is not something that increases when someone adores you and decreases when they walk away. Confidence is knowing this truth deep in your soul, that you are enough, just as you are. And let me tell you something, when you embrace your confidence, the person who hurt you will notice. Because nothing unsettles someone more than realizing they did not break you. The moment they see you smiling, thriving, moving forward, as if their absence was nothing but a passing moment in your story, that's when regret creeps in. Not because you forced it, not because you tried to make them jealous, but because confidence is undeniable. It speaks louder than words, louder than any message you could ever send. Think about it. If you spend your time obsessing over someone who hurt you, if you let their actions dictate your emotions, who really wins? They do. They win because they still have control over you. But when you shift your focus from them to yourself, everything changes. The best way to make someone regret losing you is not through anger, not through revenge, but through growth. Through success, through a glow so undeniable that they wonder why they ever let you go in the first place. The truth is, confidence is magnetic. It draws people in, it makes them curious. When you carry yourself like a person who knows their worth, who doesn't need validation from anyone, who walks with purpose and joy, that energy is impossible to ignore. And the person who once thought they could break you, they will be left wondering how you became even stronger after they left. But let's be clear, confidence isn't about pretending. It isn't about faking happiness just to make someone jealous. True confidence comes from within. It comes from doing the inner work, from healing, from realizing that your happiness was never dependent on them in the first place. It comes from waking up every day and choosing yourself, from setting goals, from surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, from focusing on what makes you feel alive. Revenge in the traditional sense is useless. Wasting time trying to make someone regret their actions only keeps you tied to them. But confidence frees you. It allows you to step into the best version of yourself, to create a life so full and beautiful that the past no longer matters. And when they finally look back, when they finally realize what they lost, you won't even need to say a word. Your success, your peace, your joy will say everything for you. So if someone hurt you, if someone made you feel like you weren't enough, remember this: you are not defined by their inability to see your worth. The best revenge is not in proving anything to them. It is in becoming so confident, so radiant, so untouchable that their opinion no longer matters. Because at the end of the day, the real victory is not in making them regret losing you. The real victory is in never looking back. Love should never feel like a battle to prove your worth. It should never make you question whether you are enough. The right person, the one who truly sees you, values you, and respects you, will never make you beg for their time, their attention, or their love. Because real love is given freely. It flows naturally. It does not need to be forced, chased, or constantly fought for. Too many people hold on to relationships that drain them because they believe that love is supposed to be hard. They believe that if they just try a little harder, give a little more, or compromise a little further, then maybe, just maybe, the other person will finally love them the way they deserve. But love is not a reward for persistence. It is not something you should have to earn by proving yourself. If you have to beg someone to choose you, then they were never yours to begin with. The truth is, the right person won't leave you feeling uncertain. They won't give you mixed signals, making you feel cherished one day and ignored the next. They won't make you question whether they care, because their actions will always match their words. Love should feel safe. It should feel like a warm embrace, not an emotional roller coaster, where you're constantly bracing for the next drop. When you are with the right person, you don't have to fight for a place in their life. You don't have to constantly remind them of your value, because they will already see it. They will want to be there, not out of obligation, not out of guilt, but because they genuinely care. They will prioritize you, respect your feelings, and show up for you, not just when it's convenient, but because they want to. Think about it. Why would you want to be with someone who makes you feel like loving you is a burden? Love is not about pleading for attention or feeling like you are an afterthought. It's about mutual effort, about two people choosing each other every day without hesitation. And when love is right, it feels easy, not in the sense that it's perfect or without challenges, but in the sense that you don't have to fight for the basics: respect, honesty, affection, and commitment. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to walk away from people who cannot love you the way you deserve. It's hard because we often believe that if we just love them enough, they will change. That if we keep showing up for them, eventually they will show up for us too. But love should never feel like a constant test of your patience and endurance. The right person will meet you halfway. They will not let you carry the entire weight of the relationship on your shoulders. The right person will make you feel chosen, not as an option or a backup plan, but as a priority. You won't have to wonder where you stand in their life. You won't have to decode their behavior, searching for signs that they care. When someone truly loves you, they make it known, they make it clear. And if someone is making you feel like you have to beg for their love, that is your sign to let them go. Because the love that is meant for you will never require you to shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's life. It will never ask you to compromise your self-respect. It will never make you feel like you are chasing after something that should be given freely. So if you are in a situation where you feel like you are constantly seeking validation, constantly asking for attention, constantly waiting for them to treat you the way you deserve, stop. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong person. The right person will never make you beg for love, because real love doesn't need convincing. It just is. Walking away is one of the hardest things to do, especially when your heart is still attached to someone. When you've invested your time, your emotions, your dreams into a person, the thought of leaving feels unbearable. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away, not in anger, not in bitterness, but with grace. Grace is strength. It is dignity. It is the quiet confidence of knowing that you deserve better. Walking away with grace means choosing yourself when someone else fails to do so. It means understanding that love should not come at the cost of your self-worth. It means accepting that no matter how much you love someone, you cannot force them to love you the right way in return. Too often we stay in situations that no longer serve us because we are afraid of letting go. We fear the emptiness that comes after the silence, the loneliness, but what we fail to realize is that staying in the wrong place does not bring peace, it only prolongs the pain. Walking away may feel like a storm at first, but on the other side of that storm is clarity, freedom, and healing. There is power in leaving without resentment. When you walk away with grace, you are saying, I refuse to be treated as anything less than I deserve, but I also refuse to let this situation harden my heart. You do not need to scream, argue, or demand closure. Closure does not come from someone else's apology. It comes from within. It comes from making the decision that you are worth more than a love that makes you question yourself. Walking away gracefully is not about proving a point. It is not about making the other person regret losing you, although they often will. It is about reclaiming your power. It is about choosing peace over chaos, self-respect over desperation. It is about understanding that love should be mutual, and if someone cannot give you that, then their absence is a gift, not a loss. The world tells us that strength is in fighting, in holding on, in refusing to give up. But real strength is in knowing when to let go. It is in knowing when a situation no longer aligns with your happiness and having the courage to step away. It is in realizing that you do not need to beg for a place in someone's life. The right people will always make room for you. When you walk away with grace, you do so with your head held high. You do not need to prove your worth to someone who failed to see it. You do not need to seek revenge or validation. You simply move forward, knowing that one day they will look back and realize what they lost. And by that time, you will have already moved on to something better, something that does not require you to fight for love, but allows you to simply receive it. So, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you are being undervalued, unappreciated, or taken for granted, do not waste your energy trying to convince someone of your worth. Walk away. Walk away with grace, with strength, with the unshakable belief that something greater awaits you. Because the truth is, the moment you choose yourself, you have already won. There's something incredibly powerful about realizing that in the end you win. Not in the petty, vengeful sense, not because you sought revenge or played games, but because you chose yourself, because you walked away with your dignity intact, because you didn't let someone's inability to love you the right way convince you that you were unlovable. The best part, you win simply by moving on. Life has a way of testing us, of making us believe that the pain we feel in the moment will last forever. But it won't. The heartbreak, the disappointment, the betrayal, it all feels unbearable at first. You might cry yourself to sleep, replay conversations in your head, wonder where it all went wrong. But here's the truth, one day you will wake up and it won't hurt anymore. One day you will realize that losing them wasn't really a loss at all. It was a redirection to something far greater. You win the moment you stop waiting for an apology. You win the moment you stop trying to prove your worth to someone who never deserved you in the first place. You win the moment you choose peace over drama, self-respect over desperation, and growth over staying stuck in a place that was never meant for you. And the person who underestimated you, the one who thought you'd never move on, never heal, never find happiness without them, they will see it. They will see the glow in your face, the confidence in your walk, the joy in your life, and they will realize that while they stayed the same, you evolved. And that is the ultimate win. At first, they may not notice. They may think you'll come back, that you'll always be there waiting. But the moment they realize that you have truly moved on, that you have built a life so full and beautiful without them, that's when it hits. That's when regret sets in. And the best part, by then you won't even care. You see, winning isn't about proving anything to them. It's not about making them jealous or hoping they suffer. Winning is about finding happiness within yourself. It's about reaching a place where their absence no longer affects you, where you no longer look for them in a crowded room, where their name doesn't make your heart sink, where the love you once begged for seems so small compared to the love you've now found within yourself. The best part, you no longer need them. The love you thought only they could give. You've given it to yourself. The happiness you thought you lost with them, you created it on your own. The closure you once sought, you realized you never needed it. And that's the irony. When you finally reach this place of self-assurance and joy, that's when they notice. That's when they come back, testing the waters, trying to see if they still have a hold on you. But they don't. And nothing is more satisfying than realizing that the person who once made you question your worth no longer has access to you. The best part, you win without even trying. You win by healing. You win by becoming the best version of yourself.